I met a gypsy.
Yeah, man. No, it's cool. It's definitely cool. The perspective that you have around something like that. So let's talk a little bit then, because this, even though, so I have to like put my big boy hat on here and put aside my personal like for you as a dude. If you cause a red flag in the way that you did with your crash, do you think the rules should let you race?
Honestly, no, I don't think. It's such a weird deal. Like I've seen it in so many perspectives, and if you crash on lap one, it's hard for me to say this too because I'm saying against like what the rules are, but like I was one lap down. I was one lap down from the rest of the field, and I got a fresh start. Like, that's the thing though. Like it wasn't my fault. Like I got a lot of flack from my competition who I was fighting with. Like there was a lot of BS that night. My girlfriend was getting screamed in her face talking about how we were cheating. And
really?
She's like, huh? Like, I'm just glad he's alive. You know what I mean? Like this is down by the podium that night. And she's just like, I'm just glad he's okay. Like, I don't even know really what's going on. She's there to support and hang. And it was pretty crazy, the response towards me for it. I'm like, if any of you guys anyone fighting for that championship had the same situation, they're racing. They're going to go out there and race. If they get allowed to, like, I didn't make the rule book, But, man, it's a weird thing, like, because, I've seen a lot of people say, well, yeah, if I crash on lap one, then I'm going to lay there with one eye open until they red flag it. It's pretty obvious that that's not what I did. But there's also been there's also been other situations. I think it was just this season when there was a start crash on a red flag. I don't remember who it was, but the track came back across over the start. They had to red flag it, and he got back up and raced. So, I mean, it's happened for sure before. I can't say I totally agree with it. Like, I was really pretty blown away that they were going to let me race. Like, I was like, that's surprising. But, I mean, if the guys who run us say I can, I'm racing,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you're so innocent in this situation in terms of you didn't want to crash. Like, if you got third after fucking yourself up like that, you probably were in for a chance to win that main event. So you probably, best case scenario for you is not crash, not jack yourself up, not have to ride a twisted bike to third. There's a lot of scenarios where, like, you don't want that to happen. The problem is that, let's say, like, it's just a loophole in the rules. So let's say, like, Cooper Webb is down 4 points on Kenny, and second lap of the race, first lap of the race, he's like buried in the pack. You have some kind of crash, and like it's hard to even say like how you do it. But the problem is that you could do it. And then Coop gets up, rips a whole shot, wins the race, full points, championship swing. So I don't think the question is around like whether you did that on purpose. I think that should be put to bed. And then it's also not up to you to be like, you know what, guys, this isn't fair. It's like, well, fuck, the rules is the rules. They say I can race, I'll go race. So there's nothing to blame here on you. But I think what it did do was it did expose a loophole in the our racing system, to where you could game this part of the system and it could have huge championship implications.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that, and I can't say if I wrote the rule book that I would let that happen. I can't say that I would, but I guess I just don't really. If it was reversed, and I had my competitor that happened to them, I think probably at first I'd be like, what the heck? How are they going to let him race? So on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then I think really if I saw what happened and stuff, I would just I would be stoked the guy's
be
okay.
glad he was okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Like, I mean, I can genuinely say that, like, I'm not friends with many of the guys I race. Like, I'm really not. I'm not there to make friends. I don't chit chat in the tunnel and bro down with guys. I'm there to do my job, and I have a lot of respect for the guys I race, but I'm not close buddies with any of them. But I also, if I was 1 point apart from a guy on the last race, I would never ever want to see someone do that crash, or any big crash. Like, our sport needs us all, and we need all the top guys racing, like, competing. And so that was just kind of something that was, a little bit unfortunate. There was a little bit of pushback when, I don't think it was necessary. Just towards, like, just
exactly.
direct
It should be the pushback towards the rules, not you.
Yeah, and I mean, I could care less. Like I'm pretty thick-skinned, but it was just pretty surprising. I think it kind of exposed a little bit of character in some people, and like even actually a couple of the racers that I straight up race against, like like even Cooper in the press conference, he was like, man, like, after seeing that crash, I'm glad he's okay. Which was like, that's cool. Like, that shows that, it's the same way for all of us. And I would think the same for those guys. But I think if I was in that moment and I was against my guy, I lined back up, or if it was against the guy I was fighting with or whatever, and I lined back up on the gate and I saw him line back up, your initial thought would be like, are you serious? Like, he's lining back up? Like, I was leading that main event, and he's lining back up now, and I have to re-pull this whole shot and try and do what I did again. But it's just something that's, like, it's so rare for something like that to happen. But who knows? It might change for next year.
I got a bit of a suggestion to what I think could happen and be a good, productive kind of rule change is, I think that if you cause a red flag and you go out of the race with the injury and it gets restarted, I feel like there should be some kind of, like, pit lane kind of, like, start from pit lane, kind of like what they do in Formula One. So Lewis Hamilton hit Verstappen a couple weeks ago, put Verstappen out of the race, so he DNF'd, and then he got a 10-second time penalty. So I think that maybe there's something that we could implement that says, okay, if you crash and it causes a red flag, you can rejoin the race, but you have to start from, like, pit lane or a gate, or, like, they drop the gate and then they have to, like, you have to pull in and then they re-drop the gate for you. And I think that that's probably fair, because, again, it sets you up to have, like, I think from my, like, media lane perspective, it's like, dude, imagine how dope it would be to watch a guy that had this crazy crash and he's okay, and then he starts, a second gate drop completely by himself. Like, that's pretty dramatic. And then you're there, trying to work your way through the pack. Like, that's a whole nother storyline to kind of follow. It doesn't completely eliminate you from the race and the championship, but there is a penalty to where it makes it more fair for a guy like Cooper that, he went out, he got the whole shot, he did his thing, and then had to go and redo that again with you on the same gate as him. So I think there is a way to have a happy medium to where it's not just an automatic DNF, but there is something in place to where there is a penalty for you for causing that red flag and then being able to rejoin the race.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that, I definitely don't have all the answers for the rules, and I know that the people that do write the rules and that are in control of it, like, that's their job. They're doing everything they can, or whatever they feel like is the best. So, I'm sure that circumstance or what happened in Atlanta is I'm sure there'll be a lot of conversations about it for the next following year's rule books. I'm sure that'll raise some concern, and there's endless amounts of rules that you can make. I think that, it might have just been something that was never, I guess, exposed. Like you were saying, like, there was just kind of like a little loophole that they're like, well, maybe we could reword this for this to happen. I'm not sure. Like, I guess I'm not I try to be the least amount critical on stuff like that, just because I know it's a tough job for the guys who were in position to decide whether I could race and so on and so forth. Like it's tough. I've been on the backside of the rules too, with getting points docked. I was last year. I got 3 points docked for what happened in the whoops in Texas, and I didn't feel like I should get 3 points docked, but that wasn't up to me. Like it was up to them. Yeah. I got 3 positions taken away. The same night another rider pinned it down the side of the whoops and got 1 position taken away. I could go on and on, but it's not up to me. I don't make the rules, so I'm just gonna, I deal with the rules of the series, and I'm gonna do the best that I can do to, not be in a position to be affected by the rules.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.